what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Brothers in Tech is a weekly podcast focused on personal and home technology, helping provide you, our fellow brothers and sisters in tech, with some information, assistance, and recommendations. It's time for some Brothers in Tech suggestions. The brothers welcome back Jeff Hartman, professor of exercise science at Gardner Webb University, to discuss our latest suggestions for your home technology. This month's suggestions are probably going to cost you a chunk of change, but at least we're going to help you track that spending, and it is going to taste so good doing it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Brothers in Tech here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. This is our ongoing technology discussion show, but focusing on technology as it relates to personal, home technology, family technology, things we use in our everyday life. And my brother and I are the two original Brothers in Tech. Brian Jackson, how are you?
Wonderful.
Wow, that was a little bit of a pause there. You okay?
Well,
you with us?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still prepping over here, right? I didn't realize you had started. Sorry, I usually pretty much ignore your initial start here, but yeah, no, Alan, I'm doing wonderful. Yeah.
I did cut right to the chase with that. I kind of caught you off guard. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Brian Jackson, my brother, good to see you as always. And we are happy to be joined today on this very special Brothers in Tech Suggestions episode, which is what we're going to do in a few minutes, joined by our returning guest, Jeff Hartman. Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, paying attention and ready to go. So,
you
thanks
are? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good to see you both.
You have met all the requirements for being a part of the show, so that's good. That's
you have already won
at least one of us.
Very nice. Good job.
Jeff Hartman is the professor of exercise science at Gardner Webb University, and someone we have known for quite a while and love talking technology with. He was on our last episode where we talked about streaming services and revisiting our opinions of those. But today's the fun one. This is the fun episode. This is what we kind of look forward to doing every maybe once a month or so, or every few episodes we get together. And that is our Brothers in Tech suggestions. So our BITS, BITS, is the acronym that my brother came up with a couple years ago.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Say that again, please.
It was something the whole family's really, really proud of Brian for that.
Congratulations, Brian.
There are very few things that the family is proud about, but that
every time we see or talk to Brian, we have to remind him, like, Brian, that was a really great thing you did with that acronym.
And then
good job.
We're so proud of you, Brian.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, buddy.
It's great. We each bring a suggestion to the table. This is where we all bring one item. It can be an app, it can be a website, it could be a gadget, it could be a tool, it could be something. It just has to be technology related. And we want to recommend it as our Brothers in Tech suggestion for the episode. So we're going to go around the room, let each person give their recommendation or suggestion. We can ask questions, inquire about it, whatever. And let's see, order-wise. How about Brian? Would you like to start us off this episode with your Brothers in Tech suggestion?
I would love to start. I mean, although I hate to set the bar so high that you guys, the rest of the episode is really not going to be worth listening to. But let's go ahead and do that. And I'll try to hold back a little bit of my just extreme likability here. But okay, I'm going to. You guys know that I'm in the Portland area, Portland, Oregon, and you know that one of the things that we're known for is coffee. And I'm going to talk a little bit about coffee. And I know that at least, Alan, you're a big coffee fan. Jeff, coffee? No?
Never drank it.
See, Jeff, you can ignore for now because, one, you're just
high on life,
right?
brother. High on
weird.
life.
Okay. Well, for those of you who are like me, who love their coffee, let me take you down memory lane a little bit, that the coffee making devices have changed quite a bit over the years. Used to be just a standard drip coffee. You put the grounds in, you turn it on, you fill it up with water, and you go. right? So that's typically the way things started. Well, of course, we've gotten much more into the gourmet coffees, the frou-frou coffees, the for a while there, it was the pods, right? The K cups was a big thing, right? You do a single serve, you put it on, you brew the single cup, and that's it. My wife and I had gone through that round as well. We had a machine at one point that was using the pods. We began realizing how much waste we had with that by having these K cups that we were throwing away every time. So we went back to having an actual coffee machine, but I'm not a huge just brewed coffee fan. Like, I like to add milk to it. I like to have, froth in it, whatever. So I'm a little bit more of a frou-frou coffee drinker. Okay. So Alan's shaking his head no for all the listeners. He's a black coffee guy, right? I mean, you can just hear it in his voice. He's the guy that just lives off of this stuff. He pumps it into the veins. But so Alan, let me just say that you and I can both live with a coffee maker like I'm getting ready to tell you about, because now I think the coffee makers have gone to a really cool place where they can do lots of different things. You're not just set with one way or another. Mm-hmm. So I will tell you, I'm going to present to you the latest version of this coffee maker, which I do not have. I have the older version of it, but I'll tell you why I like it. So I'm going to introduce you to the Ninja Dual Brew Pro coffee system. Okay, so Ninja is the company, and I have had a Ninja coffee maker for, it's probably been at least 2 or 3 years now, and it's been the greatest coffee maker we've had. And a couple of things that I like about it. One, it is kind of an all-in-one system. You can brew a small amount, you can brew a full coffee pitcher worth, or anywhere in between. And the other thing is it has a frother on the side for the people like me, a little frou-frou. You put a little milk over there and you get to froth your milk on the side. But what's really great about it is that one of the things I hated about coffee makers initially was having to have a filter and then throw away the filter afterwards, right? This does not have a filter. It has I should say the filter is reusable. It's kind of a metal mesh filter. So I can put the coffee in, brew, pull that out, go just, dump it, and you're good to go. So it's a regular coffee maker with some extra cool little things. Now, that's my version. The newer versions do a little bit more, and it actually has an option to do K-cups for someone who wants to still do that. So say you had some of those laying around, or you've got someone visiting and you want specialty coffees for them, that you could have those. So it'll take K-cups. It'll also take grounds to where you can actually put the coffee in for a certain amount. It's got a pitcher that you put into it so that you can have a full pitcher of coffee, or what is that? A pitcher? Is that the right word? I guess. A full kind of
carafe,
container.
I think is
carafe. Thank you.
Carafe
There you
is
go.
the official word. Yes.
Okay. So you can have a full carafe, right? So you were the black coffee guy. Okay. Or you have a little, which is kind of cool. You have a little drop down tray within there that you can put a mug in. So you can drop it down so that the mug goes on and you can drip straight into the mug. It also has the frother on the side. So it's pretty much, if you like coffee and you like the flexibility of having coffee for one cup, multiple cups, but you don't want to be stuck with K cups, having to throw those things out. You'd still rather kind of be able to use real grounds. This is really, really good. I mean, it's been super solid. And so I don't have any need for this new one. What I would say, I like the idea that it could do K-cups if I had it. The one we have does not, and I don't necessarily have a need for it. The other thing that's kind of nice about it is that it has a water reservoir on the back, obviously, that you fill up. But this will also let you push out just boiling water. So it also works for someone who wants hot water for tea, or your oatmeal or something like that. So it kind of doubles as a hot water heater, which is kind of nice. So this one can do a lot of cool things. Like I say, it can go from a small cup up to, and I would say also, if you're someone who likes kind of a darker coffee, maybe even more espresso type coffee, it's not going to be an espresso maker. It's not pushing it out like an espresso maker is. But you can set it for the very small amount, and you can set it to rich to where it'll sit longer before it drips out. So it's going to be a heavier coffee for someone who wants to put it in milk or something like that. So, so I'm just a big believer in the Ninja systems. They're also the ones I think that do the blenders and all the other things. They're really good with appliances. It's expensive, but for us, I think the one we had before a few years ago was maybe low hundreds, maybe 120, something like that. But it has been well worth it. We use it every day, every single day. It also has a timer. We can set it the night before, like all coffee makers will. So for us, it's fantastic. This one, I think the new version is $200 and something because it does everything. So
you can get it on Amazon right now for $190.
$190. Okay. So it's super expensive, but if you're someone who's using it every day in multiple ways, it's really, really good.
See, and that's the way it works in our house. I think we have one of the original Ninjas that just you can either put a cup in or you can put the whole pot in.
Yep.
And you can dial it to say, do you want single cup or do you want a pot?
There you go.
And that works fine. But we also have a separate little cheap coffee maker that uses the pods next to it.
Just because you want
sometimes,
real quick,
like my son, who goes to work in the morning and school in the afternoons and evenings, he's up all day. So he fixes a cup of coffee and he uses the pod to do it and does it on his way out. I will do my stuff at the office, but when I'm home, I'll do a pot because I'll drink a couple cups. My wife will do a single cup in her thermos and fix it her own way. So looking at this, I'm like, well, I'd rather have one machine on my counter to keep up with and not have two. So that could be nice. Plus the frother and all that. My wife loves all your frilly stuff you like, Brian. She does as well. So having that frother would be really
refined.
Nice. We don't have that.
Refined. She likes all the refined things. Yes.
And then, I eat my oatmeal. I do my tea. So having the hot water, all of those things sound really great.
Yeah.
That's really good. I did not know that Ninja was making kind of that whole dual system together like that. So that's really good.
I would say that the one thing I wish is that it would have an actual espresso side to this, where you could say, all right, I'm going to put this small amount in. And, with espresso, it's just going to sit there longer, but it's going to have high pressure to get out kind of the really, really thick drip. I would love that myself, but I can replicate a very close version of it, by having it be a small amount plus having it be kind of the richer pour. So if you're a big coffee person, I would absolutely recommend some of the Ninja coffee makers. They're fantastic.
So the thing I'd be curious about, and I've already did some searching while you were talking, because I once you said the name of the product, I didn't really need to hear you talk anymore after that. But I'd like to see, my whole issue is always, I hate filling up the reservoir. I hate having to deal with, just constantly breaking to get more water. I'd love to find those attachments. And I know they make them where you could actually tap it into a water line, because I've actually got very, very convenient access to a water line right behind where my coffee maker would be. I'd love to just tap it into the water line and never.
That would be fantastic.
I know there's some third-party devices that you can put in the reservoir and pipe the line in that will do that. So I just need to check and see if that's compatible or not. But that's a great pick. Good pick.
Yeah, if you find that, let me know, because that is the one thing that is very frustrating. Is that if I'm going to make it every day, I'm also having to fill the reservoir up every day. And of course, I'm taking the grounds out every day and everything. So there's a process. It's just like an old coffee maker is, where I'm brewing one pot and going about it. But the flexibility of saying, I don't need to brew a pot. I'm just going to brew a cup, or, to be able to get the hot water out. I think is pretty nice. So, good. All right. So, So I don't know. You guys would just want to stop the episode now, or do you actually want to keep going?
Yeah, we're done. We cannot top the coffee maker.
Since I'm thinking to Randall Pelzer, you remember him from Gremlins and hacking the coffee machine? That's a deep dive. You have to look that name up.
I'm going to have to look that one up. So,
hacking
luckily,
the
I'm not
coffee
going to pay attention
machine.
to either one of you, so I'll have time to look it up in a minute. Go ahead.
Hacking the coffee
All right, Alan. Alan, I think, do you want to go? Who's going next? Alan?
Yeah, I'll go next. I'll go next.
Yeah.
Let me go next.
Right.
Just to kind of break it up, because I think I remember Jeff saying his might be somewhat food related. So let me break up the food items a little bit with something in between. And I alluded to this a little bit in our last episode. I have in the past, I think, recommended a personal finance app or service to manage all your various accounts and investments and budgets and all that. I've recommended Mint in the past as a service to use that I still use. It's not perfect. Over time, I find some things that I wish it did differently or better. Budgeting has been trying to establish your own personal budget is a little more challenging on Mint, and it's not. I wish it was a little easier to use. But the biggest thing that's frustrated me with Mint that calls me to look at my pick for this month is that the experience between a web browser version of Mint and your iPhone version of Mint and your iPad version of Mint are all different. They're different interfaces. They have different experiences to them. It's very frustrating for me. And then also there's a couple of things that Mint is not doing or connecting with nowadays that are kind of some newer money sources. Like, for example, Venmo. Venmo is an account. If you have a Venmo account, you may have money sitting in your Venmo account, or you may want to be tracking the transactions you do on Venmo. The Apple Card. If you have the Apple Card that Apple's put out their credit card version, Mint doesn't let me connect to it for whatever reason. And it's just some of these newer financial, even cryptocurrency. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not into that, but I know that people that are, you can't really track that stuff very well in Mint. Plus, there's a little bit of bloat with Mint. Mint is owned by Intuit. It's very kind of, you feel like when you're in Mint, you're just being advertised to constantly about every other thing. And you are kind of wrapped in the whole Intuit QuickBooks online community, which may or may not be a good thing for you. So it did cause me to start looking at some other options, and I got recommended an app to try out. And I have been just in the trying out phase. I have not 100% cut the ties and moved to this yet, but I'm getting closer and closer every day. I'm far enough along to say that I'm going to recommend it because I do think it's a really good app for a few reasons. And the financial app I'm talking about is called Copilot. Copilot, Copilot. It works very much like Mint. If you've used Mint or other services like that, it works very much the same way. You link and connect all of your bank or credit card or investment accounts into one place. It will track all of your expenses. It'll track all of your income. It'll let you see your investment portfolio if you have money in investments. It will also let you set budgets for yourself and show you how you're tracking on your budgets. A few things that Copilot does that I really like that probably set it apart a little bit more for me. I think the app is really nice. It's a really good looking app. It's very intuitive. I find myself doing things easier in this app than I did in Mint. 2, when you first come into the app every day, you can set it to where it just kind of shows you a reminder to show you, here's all the new transactions that have happened on your accounts. You can do a quick review of them very easily. If you want to put them in certain categories, say, oh, that was a restaurant, so I'm going to make that dining. Oh, this one was something else. I'm going to tag it as that kind of category. It's very quick and easy letting you do that, like right from the app, right when you hop on. Thing I love about it is it has an actual calendar of recurring charges that are going against your account. And it's showing you, hey, Netflix comes out on the 9th of every month of your account, and it's this much. Hulu is coming out on this date every month, and it's this much. And you see it in a calendar format. You see it with the icons of the different streaming services or online services. It's just a nice visual way to say, oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff I'm doing. I can kind of keep a better view on what's happening on a monthly basis regularly, and it picks up on that and sees that. I think the learning AI has been really good. It kind of just feels like it knows me a little bit better than I think Mint did over time. It does a lot better classification of categories automatically for me that I don't have to go and fix all the times like I did when going into Mint and trying to classify my expenses. So overall, I like the app experience better. I think it looks better. I think it's easier to use, a little more fun to use. So I'm really about to the point of shifting over to Copilot and using that as my personal finance management app. There is one caveat with this app so far. and it is the fact that it is an app and only an app. So there is no web browser version of this program. That is the big hang up for me that's causing me from giving a full-throated endorsement, is that, there's times where I'm on my computer and I want to see my finances, and I do not want to have to just pull out my phone or tablet to do it. So will they roll out a web version? I'm not holding out hope, because that's generally not the way these services evolve. They normally start on the web and then go to a mobile app. To start at a mobile app, I normally don't see those services rolling into a web version afterwards. But I'm going to try it for a while and just see if I can make it work with just being the mobile app version, because I do like the app enough to want to use it on a regular basis. So that's my recommendation, Copilot. As far as costs go, this was something I was trying to look into, and I apologize. I got some different messages on this. So at one point I was told it was free, and everything I've been doing with it has been free. Supposedly at one point there was a paid model to it, but I'm not finding any information on where that paid model would ever come in. Well, no, I do have it. So here we go. It's about $5 or $6 a month to use it, with no ads or anything else. So it's if you don't mind, if you don't want to have any ads in it, you don't want to feel like you're being sold to, then you do have to pay for this kind of app to use that.
So
I don't know.
Have you noticed any frustration with the ads? I mean, I'm with you. Mint has gotten a little too overbearing with me on just constantly trying to show me new credit card offers, new mortgage refi offers. I still love Mint. I still love what it offers, but I'm absolutely willing to try this. I don't know if I'm ready to pay for something, but are you noticing a very frustrating part of the...
No. So here's the thing, is that I've been using it in kind of a demo mode, trying it out, which is free. Okay. But if you want to use it for actually your own account, you gotta pay. So it is a paid app for that. Okay. So $5.83 a month if you pay annually. I think it's probably like $7 if you do monthly. Let's look and see. So I haven't quite pulled the trigger, because I've just been really putting it through its paces and trying to use it on a regular basis. Again, the only thing holding me back is the fact that there's no web version for it. A few more things on it. It uses Face ID for login if you choose to, so which is nice. It uses Apple's widgets, so you can actually put in some nice widgets. If you use the widget sidebar on your iPhone, you can have some really nice quick widgets that show you things about your budget. They can show you some of your latest transactions in a widget, which is really nice. And again, there's no ads, which I think that's impressive, but you are going to pay for this app. So anyway,
I do like that it can provide the recurring. The recurring is nice, right? I mean, that's something that you and I talked about on a previous episode of some other apps that are out there that specifically did that for us, right? And that we thought that was really helpful, but then we were balancing multiple apps here. So it seems like this one is trying to be the one-stop kind of... It is.
Now, it doesn't have the service where it'll automatically cancel any of those services for you, like some of the apps we talked about will do, but it does show you. It's a very nice visual way of saying, oh, wow, here's everything that's happening throughout the month that I'm getting charged for automatically. So I can really kind of not only forecast and plan ahead better, but also make a little more judgment calls on whether these are all necessary or not. So, I am recommending it because it's a good looking app.
Yeah, I was going to say, just downloading it is really a slick looking app. Like it is beautiful presentation of
go into the demo mode.
Easy to flow through. I'm on the demo road right now.
Go into the demo mode and just play around. That's what I've been doing the last little bit. Is just kind of trying to see if everything that I would ever want to do with this app is going to be available to me or not, and trying some things out. So yes, it's my recommendation. I can't give it 100% recommendation because I haven't put it in real daily use on my life, but I'm really close to doing that. And cool. I think it may be worth the $6 or $7 a month to do that. So, all right.
Great. Nice.
That's me. Well, Jeff, as our special guest, what do you have to share with us for your Brothers in Tech suggestion here?
Bring it home, Jeff.
Thanks.
Bring it home.
I do have something I could recommend 100%. and this might be where you guys tune me out with, as I tuned you guys out with the coffee. So, being in active, struggling with weight and weight issues, I've always dealing with food and cravings for food, and I've adopted a bit of the intermittent fasting approach. But I'm an intermittent faster who lacks self-control. So for me, meal prep is very, very important. And my recommendation for you guys to consider is the Instant Pot Duo. You guys may be thinking of the old pressure cooker, probably that your family used when you were growing up. And if you're anything like my house, it was this giant metal contraption that would steam and rattle and shake as, pressure was released. We have recently in our house upgraded to the Instant Pot Duo, the Instant Pot Pro from an Instant Pot Duo. So the Instant Pot Pro just came from Amazon today for me.
Just today,
you
wow.
upgraded from a Duo to a Pro.
From a Duo to a Pro, yes. And that was an unanticipated upgrade to the Pro. So the Duo would no longer maintain pressure. So we tried to fix, and we came down with my research that Instant Pot is the best out there in terms of brand. Brian, you mentioned with your coffee the Ninja appliance, and those were highly rated as well. But for the reviews that I saw, the Instant Pot was the way to go. On Amazon, the cost between the Pro and the Duo was identical. So the reasons I chose the Pro, it probably sounds silly, but it has a safety steam release, a safety and gentle steam release. So the old one, you would have to get a wooden spoon and kind of gingerly tap the pressure release, and then it would just kind of explode up and get your cabinet and your kitchen ceiling all steamy. This one has a gentle steam release. It's a switch that you hit, and then it has a steam release diffuser on the top, which helps with sound. It's not as terrifying when it releases the steam. It helps dissipate the steam so it doesn't blast your cabinets. And it's a switch that's to the right of the steam release. So you don't have to use a spoon and stand at a distance and run away
nice.
when you let the steam out. I've moved away from the crock pot ever since This Is Us fiasco has made me terrified that it will burn my house down. The Instapot is great for meal prep. 1 day a week, I dump my chicken tenderloins in. I dump in my marinade. I close the lid. I hit go, and 20 minutes later, I've got my meals for the week. Seven meals separated with chicken. For the first time, like I said, we just got it today. I've already done my chicken. I've tried rice. This Instapot Pro has a rice setting. So dump equal parts rice, equal parts water, slop in a little butter, and you just hit the rice preset programming, and you just step back and watch it go. It made it excellent, fluffier, stickier rice, super easy. But for somebody who is interested in either as a single, who is wanting to just meal prep for the week, or get a few meals in at one cook, I can't recommend the Instapot more highly. For someone like myself who's lacks self-control and wants to have in the refrigerator 7 piles, I take one every day for lunch. It's one less decision I have to make in the morning, and I do believe we have a finite number of good decisions that we can make. So that's one less thing to worry about. The Pro is a little bit fancier. It's just slicker looking than the Duo.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's got looking at it right now.
Yeah, the Pro has this sexy matte finish versus the old stainless steel look that was basically covered with fingerprints. And it's got a very sweet digital face to it. The Pro does. which makes it a little bit more fun to click and beep around and turn knobs. Tons of ability to customize to your presetting. So for me, I'm cooking rice, I'm cooking chicken. I'm cranking that out. Mm-hmm. So I think you have up to 5 customizable presets that you can make for yourself.
Right.
My wife makes a killer chili. She makes great potato soup. So we've got our 4 presets already made. Just dump it in, hit the button, and what is it? Set it and forget it. You could just walk away.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
bringing it back.
For you, bring it back. Yeah. So that would be my recommendation. And I, like
fantastic.
I said, 100%, no reservations. Instapot Pro, $119 on Amazon, also $119 on Best Buy. I just looked before we started.
Is that $119 or $1.19?
That is good. Thanks for pointing that out, Alan. Okay. That is $119. Yes, sir.
We had some confusion.
I heard a previous episode there was confusion. Yeah, so I appreciate you pointing that out.
In a previous episode where a number of $9.95 was mentioned, and it was confusing whether it was $995 or the intended $9.95. So yes. So this is $119. We'll just go ahead and clarify that. So good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the 10-in-1. Is that right? Am I looking at the correct one? The 10-in-1.
Yes. Instapot Pro 10-in-1.
Yeah.
6 quarts.
Okay.
We have a standard Instapot from probably 2 years ago, and we do love it. We have used it pretty regularly. But I like what I'm seeing on the Pro here, so this looks good as well too. So
okay, and I'm super excited because I see that it does sous vide as well. Have you tried the sous vide yet? The sous vide setting?
I have not. I've had to Google what that actually means. Again, we're coming back to your foo-foo coffees and French cooking.
That has been a dream of mine to have a sous vide cooker, and I've been holding off on it. But yeah. So
I'll make you a deal, Brian. If you come to North Carolina, I will let you use it, and you can cook for me, and we can together share that meal and see how it goes.
I would love to try the sous vide. Yeah, I'd love to try that. Right. So
there you go. That's a date.
Yep.
All right. So three very kind of varied selections we had this episode. 2 of them are in the food beverage industry relations, so that's good to know. So if you got your coffee in the morning, you got your food later in the day. All good there. And then all along you're checking your finances to make sure you can afford all the food and coffee that you've now invested in. So
that's right. That's right. Good. It's all about balance. All about balance.
Good deal, guys. Unfortunately, both of yours are now adding quite to my budget that I have to try to spend here in the next little bit, because now I get tempted by your guys' selections and I have to go ahead and have them be mine. And that's
I don't know, Alan. Ours is a one-time deal. Yours is going to cost me $6 a month forever. So
that's true.
Yeah,
I don't know. It all kind of evens out in the end, doesn't it? So all right. Well, that's our recommendations. Again, for Brian and Jeff. Again, their recommendations. They've got firsthand experience. They have all in on it. Mine's a little more. Hey, I think this is a really good thing. But your mileage may vary depending on the cost, and also just to see if it's going to work with everything you want to do. I definitely recommend going into the demo mode for free and just play around with it and try it out before you make any commitments to it. So great stuff. Brian, as always, we look and encourage anybody that's got some of their own recommendations of things to share those with us, so we may be able to mention them in a future episode as well. How can they go about getting a hold of us if they have something to share?
They can send us an email at info@themesh.tv. So info@themesh.tv. Tell us if you have experience with any of these products and have some ideas and want to educate Jeff on something other than chicken would be great. So kind of let us know how he can vary his life up a little bit, which, sounded extremely sad to me for a little bit there. But so
I love it.
Tell us what else he can do with this 10-in-1. He's using 1 of the 10. So if anybody has any ideas of the other 9, that would be great to pass those along. By the way, sterilizer is also on there. Sterilizer.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you do? Throw your mask in there or something and sterilize it? Anyway.
I was thinking really my tattoo needle.
There you go. So info@themesh.tv, and tell us about new topics you'd like us to get into in the new year. Alan and I will be jumping into new topics in 2022 soon. So let us know what we need to put on the list.
All right. Sounds great. Jeff Hartman, thank you once again for joining us and returning back. I think
Thanks for having me.
Is he the first returning guest we've had, Brian?
Yes, he is. He is. And
okay.
I answered the phone.
I had to get on Jeff's schedule like weeks ago to prepare for this and to try to get him to join us. And I'm just really happy that I got on it early and got him to be prepared for this. So,
agreed.
And by the way, by early, I mean, what was it, an hour before this thing started that I asked you to join us? So, yeah. So I'm really happy that you have nothing else going on other than sitting around waiting for your chicken to cook. So, so welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for the recommendations, everyone. And thanks for listening. We will be back again soon with our next episode where we talk about another topic in the field of home, family, personal technology, everyday technology that we want to help share and talk about and help educate about. So for Brothers in Tech, this has been Alan Jackson, Brian Jackson across the coast there on the other side of the screen. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.